Hello, Ma'am Glyza Castillo. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to hear about your journey and experience with the job interview process and your work in. To start, could you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your role at the company?
Hi, so I am Glyza Castillo. I am currently working as a finance admin associate in Davos Developers. It is a state company located here in Davao City. So I have been working at the company for 1 year.
Uh, 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 my first question, ma'am, is how did you prepare for the interview and any specific strategies you use?
So during my first ever job interview, what I did was to um, search online about the possible questions that the interviewee might ask me. So I have searched all about the possible questions that they might ask in the job interview. I listed them in my notes in my cell phone, and then I have answered it in a bullet form. So I have also researched about the company that I am applying to, the position, including position, the details about the position. Okay, so our second question, mom, is what should I wear? What should we wear for a job interview? So, a job interview, of course, it is in a formal setting. So you should wear your best formal suit or attire. So as what they have said, no, the first impression really lasts. So make sure na you look presentable, no? So when you attend a job interview.
Okay, so our third question is, were you nervous before the interview? If so, how did you manage those nerves?
So yes, of course, especially during my first time na nag-attend a job interview, I was really nervous. So what I did was I put it in my mind that I've been through a lot of things. So I have been through a lot of obstacles in my life. So including also I've made it a motivation na during my college years, so my schooling days, I have been able to defend my thesis, present in front of a lot of professors, and talk in front of a lot of people. So why can't I do it na to go through to pass through the interview na it will be like the final step or the good step of schooling. So dapat I shouldn't be nervous. I should do it in my best possible shot. So maganda siya kung ibabasa ka mindset na do your best. Do not be nervous kay you have prepared ahead of time, and if mapabaan ko or I've like i-acknowledge na ka na siya like na feeling. So maghatag lang na siya ng negative outcome sa ako. Ha? So nag-stutter ko, dili ko matapag sa question. So, dapat kana nakalistan ka o kana mga motivations mo na why do you want that job, so dapat dili ka matubaan. Kaya our fourth question is, what was the most good question you encountered during the interview, and how did you answer it? So during my very first interview, so I have my first interview at Bagamco for an accounting associate na position. So during that time, me as a very honest person, dili gyud ko kabalo maglay. So what I found na very difficult question for me was, how can I see myself 5 years from now? So I was very honest with my answer, and that made me fail the final interview. So I was really in the last stage already. So they had asked me, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself 5 years from now? So I have answered my very honest na answer was, I see myself 5 years from now working abroad and earning my master's degree. So during a job interview, you should be at least say mga white lies. So should be ang answer should be so I asked my friends, saan niyo answer na questions? Kaya I had this question during my final interview sa bagan ko. And they said, dapat ang imuhang context is within the company. So you should really say, magpanggap ka, you should say na, 5 years from now, I see myself as a very successful employee for your company. I see myself as an asset of your company. So dapat i-ano siya ng pag-answer. So you should not be completely honest with your answers if you want the job.
So our last question is, what advice would you give to others who are preparing for the job interviews?
So, ako lang ma-advise na what I can say is that really prepare ahead of time. Research about the company. Ilagay na itatun na what do you know about the company? Why do you want this position? Why do you want to work in our company? So, you should at least have a background about the company that you are applying to. So, also, list down questions, search the Google, the TikTok, YouTube about the possible questions and answers that you could say sa interview. Kay, trust me, makatabang yun siya sa inyo ha. Na, like, during the job interview, dili na ka ma-surprise, you could answer the questions, what you call that, flawless na yung answers. Kay, of course, rehearse at ahead of time and kung pwede, have someone na you trust na i-question ka, do a question and answer portion with someone you trust, kaya para during the job interview, di na ka matulbaan, di na ka mag-stutter, so inano siya. And then tapos, one of my advice good is tell good of what they say na white lies. So, of course, pag ganahan mo yung employer para dawatan ka, so you should not be completely honest with your questions, or imong answers, dapat imong answers, kaya maka-please bitaw sa ilaha, ay kani siya ang ganahan na person. Tapos, last thing is, list your qualities, list down your positive qualities, your negative qualities, kaya ilago na we ask, why should we hire you? What are the positive attitude that you have that might help the company? So that's it. That's it at the end. Hello. Thank you again for sharing your experience with us. Please guys, that your insight has been really helpful and we appreciate your time. Thank you, Ate.
Thank you kaayo, ma'am.
So, what I have learned to the person we interview about her experience in job interview. So, I've learned several lessons. So, first is preparation is the key. And we have to search about the company and role in detail that will help us align with the position. And practicing common questions with your colleagues can also boost confidence and will prepare. So, the importance of making a strong impressions both in terms of body language and dressing appropriately. And I also learned that we have to be prepared ahead of time, that we should have to be confident and we should have to gain more motivation in ourselves that will lead us into thinking that we can do it.
So, I learned also that on our recent interview about her experience on her job interview, that if you go through an interview, let yourself be confident that your employer can say that you're the right person that they are looking for. And you must consider when answering their questions slight white lies to make your employer agrees that you have the capability of that job. Also, you must research slightly about the company you're applying for so that you can answer them if they ask you some questions regarding their company's policies and regulations. And we learned so much about this interview, and that ends our video. Thank you.